recording. So, guys, welcome to my Dragon Room and Dragon Studio and Dragon HQ once more. Today, I'm doing something a little bit different. Those of you that have followed my journey will know that the bulk of my journey with the dragons began with my Reiki 1. But what many of you don't know is that it actually started with Korani, Moira, and Melissie through the colourwork system. And in particular, this little beastie. So now, when Korani and I were heading up the One Source magazine together, she came back after meeting Moira, raving about this black dragon and dragons and colour mirrors. And that's where it all began. So it's just, literally, this is just a free-for-all about dragons, about colour, the dragons of the land, where everybody is. Korani and I are both in the UK. Moira's in Canada and Melissie's in South Africa. So all of these guys are made out in South Africa. So they carry incredible energy. And from my understanding, there is big dragon energy in South Africa. I've got a big pull to South Africa with the dragons. So, Melissie, is there dragons in South Africa?
Well, you know, I didn't really think about that, especially in the beginning. I was quite resistant to the whole idea of the dragons because I thought they're not much to do with us. But of course, I was living virtually at the foot of a whole range of mountains called the Drakensberg, which means Dragon's Mountain.
Oh!
The whole of Natal has this range of mountains through it called the Dragon's Mountain. So, yes. There clearly is a big South African dragon thing.
I've just gone goosebumpy from head to foot. Oh my goodness. So now this is just a free-for-all for all you guys, that because even though I've done the colour mirrors 1 and 2, which is obviously now all changed in, that's 20 years ago nearly. And you've you know, it's evolved, like all these things, it's evolved and changed as it does. Because it started off as colour works, didn't it?
Yes.
And then for whatever reasons, it just morphed and evolved into colour mirrors. So what is the connection with dragon and colour? I know it's huge, but even after 20 years of working with dragon nearly, I don't get it. I know it's frequency and I know it's colour, but I don't know why. So I hope you guys can answer my question.
Not me.
Oh, go on. Anybody? Go on, Korani. You must have some. Moira and Korani must have some idea.
Go on, Moira, you speak up.
You can't go shy on me.
No, don't shy on you. Why dragons and colors are connected? I just think that everything's connected to color. So, you can look at, you got angels as well. You talk about color angels, color fairies. So I think color is just that filter that we can see anything that is kind of in the unseen world, in the spiritual world. It can build a relationship between us and those energies because the color has a language that comes with it. So dragons literally can speak to us through the color language. So, I mean, what does the black dragon say to you? But what's interesting is the conversation you then have through the color of black with a black dragon would be different if I was having it and if you were having it or Korani was having it. It's open to interpretation and your own connection to it. So that makes it very interesting. So that would be my answer, I hope.
No, and the thing is, I agree with you. I often get people will often message me, oh, I've had a green dragon appear, or I've had a blue dragon appear, or I've had, whatever appear. Now, what does it mean? What's the significance of blue dragon, green dragon? And to me, actually, the color is insignificant in that respect. It's what is your journey with that dragon? And how does that color resonate with you? Has always been my sort of stock answer, really. Yes. And I was just wondering, was I missing something?
No, I think that, to me, that's spot on.
Yeah, exactly. And each color, of course, has got particular characteristics and qualities and meanings. And so people are going to be drawn to one color as opposed to another, which is what happens in life anyway, isn't it? A lot of people say, oh, blue is my favorite color, or green's my favorite color, or what have you. And I think that dragons, like any beings who come from other realms, will, as you said, Moira, will use that as a way to communicate with us. So for me personally, I remember my first connection with the dragon. was way back when I was a child and I read The Hobbit. And of course, there's a huge dragon in that, isn't there? And I remember the powerful impact that that dragon had on me. But I didn't really have another experience with the dragon until I met Moira. And then Moira introduced me to Color Mirrors or Color Works as it was then, and this black dragon that just spoke to me so powerfully. And somehow the medium of color enabled me to connect with the dragon in a way that I hadn't been able to before. And using Melissie's amazing bottles, her spritzers and sprays, was just an instant doorway into the dragon realm for me. So that's the other thing I think that comes with Color Mirrors as a system, is because it's not just about the color of the dragon, it's also the energy that comes when you spray that particular spritzer. It's the scent, it's very much the frequency. And so what happens with that is you just get an instant connection with the dragon energy, and you start to be able to experience it in a way that you hadn't before. That's certainly what happened for me. And then as I went on to teach Color Mirrors, I saw it happening over and over and over again with people coming on workshops and experiencing dragons in a way they never had before through the power of color and these amazing spritzers.
It just makes me go goosebumpy just talking about it, because that was my first introduction. And as you know, I was so resistant to the dragons at Korani at that time. It's like, I really thought you needed locking up at one point. The girl's gone barking, you know. But actually, it's not until you sit in the energy of that, is it, that you can appreciate it. And you know, I've had these guys forever, and these are my original bottles.
You can see
that. I use them so sparingly, but they all get used, as you can see. This is my second black dragon, actually. But they all get used at different times when I'm working with groups. And I find that if I'm working with a group, I tend to bring them in and I use them for space clearing or energizing or anything like that, depending on what I feel at any given moment, because I find it changes. And I don't know if that's right or wrong, but you know, it might be, you know, I think I've got Copper Dragon up here somewhere. Is that Copper Dragon? Or gold? I see Gold Dragon's been well used. That's nearly empty. You know, but depending on what I need to bring in is what I'll spray. And, you know, maybe I want to do lighten the energy or bring in a specific sort of frequency or vibration, and will be on who I use when I'm working. Normally when I'm working with groups, I don't do it when I'm working on my own. Obviously we are on Zoom now because it doesn't have quite the same effect. But it'd be fun using it with the group. Does it really?
Oh yeah, you want to try it. You want to try it on Zoom. It's amazing. I use them all the time, the spritzers, on my workshops online, and it's just as powerful. For some people, even more so. Would you believe?
I guess it's that energy again, isn't it? Because the thing is, dragons transcend time and space, don't they? As I guess color does, because it's a frequency. So it's a light frequency, isn't it? So again, that transcends time and space, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Oh.
There's also a lot of in the mythology of dragons, there's a lot of color. I mean, for instance, the goddess Kuan Yin, who's the goddess of homes and compassion and mercy, her favorite way of traveling was supposed to be on a turquoise dragon. So there's lovely other stuff that happens. And when Moira and I taught in Korea for the first time, the Koreans were absolutely enthralled with the dragons, because they said in their kind of spiritual understanding, you have to be really evolved before you'll have a dream of a dragon. And now suddenly here they could access the dragons, and they said they loved the glitter in it. They said, oh, and look, the scales of the dragon are in the bottle. So I always thought that was quite lovely.
Amazing. Oh my God, I'm just blown away. That's incredible. Now I was going to ask something about that now. So have the dragons expanded within the Color Mirror system? I don't know how many you had originally.
I had 7 originally, and then very quickly it was 8, and then from then on it's just kind of grown little by little as we go along.
So at different times, different ones are birthed, as it were, into the system.
Yes.
I was doing a series of workshops and mentoring when I was still living in England, in Kenilworth. And I had a group of 10 ladies that were they were stuck, and they've been through all the workshops more than once, and they were really just stuck. And I kind of SOS Melissie and said, look, I need a dragon, but it's none of the dragons we have. I said, I think it's a purple dragon. I need to kind of do this kick-ass energy that the dragons deliver. You know, they kind of really are that last wall of resistance, because these ladies were just in deep, deep resistance and denial. And I felt I needed a dragon. So I said to Melissie, please make a violet dragon, make a purple dragon. And next thing, Korani came on, and the whole idea, just as that often does when we speak about a new bottle or a different energy, things evolve. So then Korani came in, and it turned out to be, I think it became the lilac dragon. I don't know how you quite got it to lilac, Korani, but I just wanted. Do you remember?
I don't remember that at all now. But the lilac dragon energy is just sublime, isn't it? It really is, and it's so powerful.
I'm missing out. I haven't got a lilac dragon.
You probably haven't got a turquoise dragon either. No. And
I want them.
Yeah.
Oh
Speak
my
nice,
goodness.
Korani. Give us a spritz, Moira.
Oh yeah, do.
You're going to watch this one now. He loves them. The minute I spray, he just wants to lick.
Just feel that.
And that's just gone through there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm tingling from head to foot.
And
it's just expansion.
Yeah. And out of those 10 ladies, 9 of them made a radical shift. And I mean radical. And the one, I remember specifically the one lady, she used to if you just looked at her, she'd blush. She had no confidence at all. She was such a timid little bird. And suddenly she started running a spiritual group in the next door town, Leamington Spa, and standing up and speaking in front of crowds. I mean, this dragon just had an incredible effect on her. So it was kind of like a little experiment or little observations that I wanted to make with a new bottle, with a very targeted group. And yeah, 9 out of the 10 ladies made a shift. The one didn't. She was kind of just going to stay stuck, because that's where she needed to be a bit longer. But yeah, so the lilac dragon did just this amazing, and it was so great that Korani came in and turned it from the violet into the lilac, because it didn't need to be the deep, heavy spiritual lifting.
No, it's because lilac. Yeah, lilac is transformation, whereas violet is kind of not that. Lilac is a much lighter, easier shift, whereas the violet kind of kicks you over before it lets you shift.
Yeah. And we also felt that it had, once it became the lilac dragon, we really felt its Lemurian connection. We started to connect in with it being Lemurian dragon. So just have a feel of that, Caroline. I don't know if that speaks to you at all, but
see, the Lemurians have been on the periphery for about 3 years. And you know what I'm like, Korani. I'm going, no, not playing.
What, you, Caroline? Surely not.
And they keep coming in. And there's now somebody, I think my resistance has been the fact that somebody was spouting about them being rainbow dragons. I'm going, I don't know, I'm not sure. So anyway, so that's still parked, because I'm still not sure about the rainbow dragons. It's for me, the rainbow dragons feel too fluffy. I don't know what you guys feel, but because we all know the dragon power is so immense, and they are about change and transformation. And there's something about the rainbow dragons that don't quite sit with me. And it could be just my resistance, because I'm stubborn like that. And I completely admit that. But what I have been getting are the dragons of light, which I feel are much more Lemurian. So I don't know how that ties in with your lilac dragon.
Well, I remember when it first came into being and I experienced it for the first time. And I said to Melissie, this dragon is about lightness of being. Those were the very words that came to me. So that kind of echoes exactly what you're saying, Caroline.
Now that makes much more sense. Yeah, I do. It's just something about this rainbow thing that I don't get. And it's just like, I'm just going to sit with it. and see where that goes.
Maybe because the rainbow has all the colors in it, and so if it feels too kind of, it doesn't feel, I don't know, defined enough, maybe. I don't know.
It feels like it's too much. It feels messy somehow, and the dragons are in no way messy, are they? They're very clear cut, and they're very defined in many ways with their energy or their task or their role with us as humans. And because you've got the whole spectrum of color in there, mind you, I guess if you think of this color of the rainbow, it eventually goes up to white, doesn't it, if you look at it in the right way? So
but
maybe
that's the thing. Yes. Well, when I started out, I think we called the white dragon the rainbow dragon. We really thought it was that, but all the colors are in the white. In the white light, the whole spectrum is. So there is a kind of a rainbow dragon in terms of having the white dragon. It does include everything, and yet it is completely the opposite of messy. It really is good and clean and fresh. Whereas the rainbow idea is, I agree with you, Caroline, it's a little bit for me, My Little Pony and unicorns and sugar fluff.
Exactly. That's exactly. Yeah, I just couldn't articulate it. That's exactly. It's My Little Pony and the unicorn stuff. Yes. Thank you, Melissie. Yes, but of course, if you go to the spectrum of the rainbow, you have that purity of energy, don't you, of the white and the dragons of light.
White dragon's one of my absolute favorites, and it is really incredibly pure and high frequency energy. So do you want me to just give a little spritz of that?
Oh yes, is White Dragon a new one? I've not seen it.
No, it's been around for a while. Yeah. So I'm holding my cat on my knee with one hand, and she's got me pinned. So I've only got one hand free. So what I'm going to do, rather than putting it into my own hands, is I'm just going to spray it at the screen to all of you. Okay. So there you go. Just let yourself.
Oh, I could smell that.
Yeah. That's the other thing that happens. People can smell the scents. I'll say, oh, have you just sprayed something rose? Or
that has a citrusy scent to me.
It's divine. It's so beautiful. See, just close your eyes for a moment, Caroline, and just feel that energy and just feel the incredible purity and lightness of that one.
That's
that white energy.
Beautiful,
isn't it?
Wow,
such a beautiful energy.
That's quite incredible.
I mean, they all are in their own way.
Well, yes, but that's incredibly gone.
Yeah, it's very calming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Into a real state of kind of peace and stillness.
It's like everything's just sort of dropped away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How? Melissie, you're a bloody genius.
I know.
And she's modest too.
I love it.
That's my other real skill is the modesty.
I love it. It's just incredible. So my other question, and you guys may not be able to answer this because it's one that I've been sort of sitting with for some time, is the dragons and the light beings, so the star people and that kind of thing. Have you guys got any thoughts on that, and with the connecting with color and things?
I've got one thought. I remember when Melissie recommended that we delve into that book, the Afterlife of Billy Fingers. Do you remember that one, Melissie?
Oh yes.
And he recounted that when he was on his on the stage of his development, spiritual growth, on the other side, so to speak, he got to the stage where he was about to meet his soul group, and he was very excited about it. And greeting him before he could meet the soul group was a gold dragon. And he spoke about his experience of meeting this gold dragon in spirit world. And I just love that the dragons are spoken about in these channel books about the afterlife. I love that. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. So from a point of from a galactic point of view, is there a connection with sort of dragons and color and the galactics, or is there?
Yes.
There is.
Yes. The minute you go off planet, the minute you go off physical, out of 3D, it's all connected in reality. It really is. So whatever the galactics are, or what you understand them to be, and whatever the dragons are, I think every single bit of that is just, in a weird way, aspects of ourselves. We're so much more than we think we are. that there is absolutely a part of us that can channel a dragon or be part of that energy. There's absolutely a part of us that can be that galactic, you know, so it's all kind of just aspects of the one. So of course it's all connected.
Of course it is. Yes, because there's no separation, is there?
No. The minute you're out of this skin, there's no separation.
Yeah. How amazing. Amazing. Now, did I have it? I did send a list over, didn't I? Was there something else I was going to talk about? Dragons and land, dragons and color, dragons and galactic. Was there anything else? And anything you guys want to say? Whether it be about mirrors, the kind of color mirrors, or the dragons, or
well, when you said about connecting with the dragons in the different lands that we're from, obviously I'm actually from New Zealand, even though I live in the UK.
oh, of
And
course.
I don't know that much about the Maori connection with dragons, except that there is a being, a creature, a mythical creature in Maori mythology called the taniwha. And the taniwha is kind of like, I guess the closest you could describe it would be a water dragon. It's sometimes also known as a water lizard because they're seen as these huge kind of reptilian creatures. But they are very prevalent in Maori mythology, and every Maori tribe has a taniwha. And to this day, they still relate to their taniwha. And if you're in one particular tribe, your taniwha will protect your tribe, will protect your people, will be seen as a guardian, but will also then go to war with other tribes' taniwha. So, you know, there's this whole kind of tribal aspect that's still alive and well in the Maori culture. And the taniwha is part of that, which I think is fascinating, you know, that they have a mythological creature being who's seen as a spiritual being, who's seen as a protective spirit.
Wow. And dragon-esque.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. So what about Canada, Moira?
Nothing has really popped up here since I've been here 5 years. But I know back when I lived in England, of course, you know, the Loch Ness Monster caught my, I actually went to that area and went to Loch Ness. And when I was in, you know, in that space, and I just went into a little meditation and just on the top of the water. And I just had this feeling that, you know, possibly that's the energy of a dragon that people were photographing or capturing and calling it the Loch Ness Monster. And that it was just this being of the dragons in Scotland, and Loch Ness has something to do with it. And here in Canada, I've met some of the native kind of Indian people here, but not really had a conversation with them about the dragons. The colors, they're very connected to the colors. Yeah. And we had those conversations, but not yet about dragons. So that would be something to explore here.
Yeah, because I don't know in any of the native cultures of America and Canada whether I've never come across dragon in their land. Obviously, you get it in. There's a bit more in Australia, isn't there? Because is it song lines in Australia, isn't it? And dragon lines in China, isn't it? With the lays. So that'd be interesting to find out actually within the native cultures of the States and Canada whether there is anything to do with dragons within their culture. I've never come across it. Certainly here in the UK, I feel really strongly that the dragons are very connected to the land here, and the same with South Africa.
But you have the mythology of the dragons. In our kind of native culture, there isn't anything about dragons. I mean, the Drakensberg was named that by Dutch settlers who came here. So they came with their own kind of European Celtic, whatever the dragon connection is. But there wasn't a dragon. I don't think I've never heard of a dragon connection with the African culture in any way. Have you, maybe, Moira?
No, I never found any either.
No.
Yeah. That's so when I was in England and you introduced me to the dragons, that they were like a fairy tale thing, a childhood school book thing for me. It wasn't an earthy Gaia kind of connection for me. It took me a while to kind of, you know, buy into that because the dragons were like, Melissie's weird. I love her color stuff, but the dragons was like, this is too weird for me stuff. I had that same reaction.
Well, that's where I was as well. I was also not going to make dragons. I had a friend, Pat Angove. Do you know Pat, maybe?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, Pat and I were good friends. And she said, the waking up of the dragons is happening, and she was doing all these very lovely dragon workshops and things. And she said, you've got to make dragon sprays. And I went, nah, it's not part of my culture. It's not a thing that I have any connection to. As I say, whilst living at the foot of the Drakensberg kind of thing. So it was only a little bit later down the line that I then went, oh, okay, maybe there's a little something here about this.
Kind of funny, isn't it, that all four of us were unfamiliar really with the dragon energy, and all four of us kind of went, what, what is this, until we experienced it for ourselves. And I wonder if there's something there about our resistances, and that dragons, they have to kind of work at us to bring us into connection with them, because we put up such walls of resistance. And I think society does, obviously. I mean, dragons traditionally have been feared, haven't they, as we've got to slay the dragons and that sort of thing.
But that's exactly it. When you were saying dragons are feared, that would be us as healers that are seen as light, fluffy, spiritual people. We don't want to take on a persona that might be fearful to our clients.
Right, exactly. And then once you experience the dragon energy for yourself, and you recognize that, I mean, they come in as many shapes and forms as we do. There's just such a richness to them. I remember being blown away when, Moira, you introduced me to the royal blue dragon from the Colour Mirrors set, which is that starry dragon. You talk about the link between the stars and the dragons. Well, that's it in our system. The royal blue dragon is such a starry, stellar being. I had no idea that anything could be so powerful and yet so gentle. There was this incredible kind of soft and gentle energy with the royal blue dragon, and yet incredible power. And I think because dragons are so much about empowerment, aren't they? So much about empowering us. I guess we only come to them when we're ready, at that level.
Yeah. And I often find that actually, and the sort of the 15 years that I've been teaching dragon, is that you seem not to choose dragon chooses you. That's great. That has started to shift over the last maybe 6 months. But historically, dragons absolutely came to you. You didn't choose to work with dragon. They would suddenly appear on your radar, whether it be through colour mirrors or they appeared in meditation or whatever. They got your attention one way or another.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense.
I was just having a look to see if I can find the coral, but I don't have a coral dragon on my shelf, because that's the latest little development that's happened in Colour Mirrors with the dragons. Is this coral dragon just suddenly snuck in the back door somehow? I can't even remember what the story was about that. Maybe Melissie.
I was in South Africa with Melissie earlier this year, just before the lockdown, and the first one. And I was saying to her that I'd been running a Colour Mirrors teachers course, and that on that course, all my gold dragons that I had in stock and out on display all turned coral during the workshop. Of course, this is one of the things that happens in Colour Mirrors, is that the bottles change colour by themselves. Nothing that we have done to them. And they all went this beautiful coral colour, and I was quite blown away by it. And so I mentioned this to Melissie when I was there, and she said, well, why don't we make one, and just see. And when we made it, we felt like it was the feminine counterpart to the gold dragon. It was very similar in energy, but it just had a more feminine quality to it, whereas the gold dragon has a very powerful masculine energy. But they're both mind-blowing and amazing, powerful energy.
I want all these dragons.
Okay.
Can be arranged, Caroline.
Say again?
Can be arranged.
We will talk. When we finish recording, we will talk. My God, it's quite incredible, isn't it? That, I love, and the fact that, and coral's been coming up for me a lot. So for me, it almost feels divine feminine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And God almost, goddessy, it isn't quite the right term, but it's definitely got that sort of goddess, divine feminine power to it. It's that depth of where, over the millennia, women have been, disempowered over centuries. And it feels like that coral is bringing that energy back through to the surface. I don't know what you guys think about that, but.
Absolutely. Yeah. Very much so.
We do.
Melissie's also made an incredible, beautiful spritzer that's not a dragon, but it's called rose gold. And it's sort of on that golden, corally, pinky part of the color spectrum, which is so much about that, isn't it, Melissie?
Absolutely. I mean, our rose gold lady is really, I don't even, again, as you say, not goddessy in that sense, but she's the mother of God. She's God, the mother of God. She's not even, you know, I mean, for me, I feel as if the story of Mary and Jesus was just a kind of a post, trying to explain what had actually happened. I mean, where did God come from? Clearly he had a mother. Nothing doesn't have a mother. So there was something that was hidden all along the line. So the old patriarchs couldn't let us know that there was a mom somewhere. And the rose gold lady is our connection to God, the mother of God. You know, literally the biggest, most powerful, and it's female.
Wow.
And it kind of takes it in many other directions that we've not really explored yet or been given the information or the opportunity or the space to do, because it was also hidden while we were being masculinized.
Yes. And it's interesting that certainly from the way that I work with the dragons, they're very much, whether you're male or female, they're actually very much about stepping into that power and owning who we are, aren't they? And that full ownership, and it's particularly on the feminine level, and it's that sort of oneness of ownership and completeness somehow. That's sort of how it feels, and all that authenticity and everything else that they come up with. Amazing. Ladies, thank you. I've had a ball. So how can these, obviously this is going up onto YouTube and we'll go onto my Facebook. So how do these, obviously people are going to be fascinated now with colour mirrors. So how, and the dragons within it, I hope. How do they get hold of you guys? What have you got, courses running? Have you got, you know, what's happening? We'll start with Korani because she's in the UK.
Okay, so I mean, the first place to look is the Colour Mirrors website, which is colourmirrors.com. And on there's a whole lot of information about what Colour Mirrors is, about the system. It's got all the bottles on it so people can have a look, including the dragons. And on there also will be workshops that are running worldwide. And also there's a section that enables you to contact practitioners of Colour Mirrors wherever you are in the world. We don't have practitioners in every country at this stage, but we do have them in quite a few. And that's all on the Colour Mirrors website. So that's the first port of call really for people. In terms of my own work, my website is korani.net, N-E-T. And yeah, I'm in the middle of running an online program at the moment that all my work always brings Colour Mirrors into it, always. This one is not a specific Colour Mirrors training program, but it's one that incorporates colour because I can't not. And I don't have any other courses in the pipeline apart from something else, which I'm going to begin next year, which is about Heartfire alchemy. And in that there are 4 spritzers, one of which is the lilac dragon. And so people get to connect on a weekly basis with a different energy, a different color energy, and to open and to activate and to ignite the heart fire within, and obviously creative passion and all that sort of thing. So that's coming up at the end of January. That's all I have in the pipeline at the moment. Other than that, don't know. We have a book about Colour Mirrors system as well, called The Wisdom of Colour Mirrors, which Melissie and I put together, and it's been out for just about a year now. And in fact, we're celebrating its first anniversary. Thank you, Moira. We're celebrating the first anniversary of the launch of the book on the 19th of November online, and anybody can come and join us for that, have a celebration. So hopefully we'll see you on that, Caroline. I'll send you the link.
Oh, do.
So that you can join us for that as well.
Amazing. I'm really interested in your heart fire. That's gone. Oh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I think you'll enjoy it, Caroline. It's got full-on dragon energy, even though it's not specifically about the dragons. It's got that same kind of power and impetus.
Nice. Oh, I'm looking forward to getting the info on that. So thank you, Moira. So what you're in Canada? Whereabouts in Canada are you, love?
In near Toronto, so it's kind of landlocked, but around the Great Lakes. But yeah, so it's very near Niagara Falls. So people always know where Niagara Falls is, and so I'm sort of halfway between Toronto City and Niagara Falls, a beautiful part of Canada. Yeah. Oh. So what I've got going is again, colourmirrors.com will give you all the information you need, and also a list of where people can be contacted in different countries in case people want to experience any of the energies. And I have my own website, moirabush.com, but I also have an academy. And right now I'm in week 5 of a 25-week Colour Mirrors practitioner program. I'm also launching a numerology program, color mirrors with numerology and planets, because linking the colors and the numerology with a little bit of planet information is one of my hobbies. It's one of my favorite things to do. And I'm starting that in January. And right now I'm actually in the midst of sitting and feeling the energies for 2021, because I've been doing predictions for every year for the past 10 years. So I'm busy getting the information through for 2021. And what I also bring through are the dragons. So, you know, for every person who has a specific year number and what they're going to experience, and a kind of a little prediction and a forecast for potentially what's on offer in an upcoming year, is which dragon will support you. So that's one of the things I'm busy working on right now. And those are little courses I do as little online things that go on my academy. But, you know, people can just check in with me on Facebook or on my website and find out about that if they're interested.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Melissie, so which dragon's being
next? I'm too far away, so I'm kind of just the source. I don't do workshops at the moment much at all, and I don't. We're kind of just the bottle generating place.
So, have you got any new dragons to birth?
Yeah, you know. Well, they'll tell me. You know, it's not a thing I decide. It suddenly happens.
And they do tell you, don't they? I've discovered this. They tell you exactly what they want, and you can't argue with them. Well, you can, but
you can, and it just makes it more painful in the end.
Exactly that. That's exactly. And the more you resist, the more they persist.
Exactly.
Ladies, thank you so much for joining me. I've really enjoyed our chat. And if you send me some links over, I will stick them into the links thing at the bottom on the whatever it's called, at the bottom
description
of the YouTube thingy, and the box, whatever. I don't know. I don't do technical jargon, so I'll stick the links thingy for the on here. And I hope to catch up with you all soon. Stay safe during these crazy times, and I look forward to chatting again.
Thank you so much, Caroline. It's been really lovely.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye.
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 Bye.